Welcome to Nature Speaks, everyone. My name is Tracy, and this is today's message channeled from the spirits and energies of the natural world. Have you ever been woken up in the middle of the night with a sound that actually can't quite identify, but it's very alarming to you? Well, that's what happened to me a little while ago. I was in bed and all of a sudden I heard this sound it almost sounded to me like somebody was in pain or kind of moaning or crying. I knew it was an animal, but I couldn't figure out whether there was something wrong or it was coming closer and closer to my house. And even though I was inside my house, it still got my heart racing a bit. One reason is that I couldn't identify it. I didn't know what it was. Well, it turns out that after looking it up and asking my neighbors if they had any idea what was making that noise outside in the dark at night, and none of us could figure it out, I finally figured out that it was actually the sound of a mating call of a red fox. You can check it out after you watch this video. And so I went to channel the Great Spirit of the Fox, because I knew that was a sign for me it was an obvious, hello, pay attention, time to channel me. So when I channeled the Great Spirit of the Fox asked me to explain how hearing that had made me feel. Of course, I was a little embarrassed, but I did. I explained it uncomfortable, and it wasn't a sound that I understood or knew what it was, and so it made me a little nervous. And that energy of the fox goes, exactly. And I go, we offer you this as an example of how easily one can misinterpret or have an instinctual reaction to a form of communication or a condition environmentally or the behavior of others, where your initial reaction is to feel like you need to be on the defensive or there's a threat, you have a threat response. One of the gifts that we are stepping forward today to offer those of your human family is the gift of our fox nature. Vibratory field of energetic attunement. That's what they're offering us with the Great Spirit, the energy of the fox. And so they go on to say, we offer you this is the greatest gift we can give you right now. They go, when you understand the fox as cunning, as clever, they go, one of the aspects of claiming your fox nature is when you are presented with something foreign, a sound, whatever it is, an action that may cause an emotional, like instinctual response of fear or alert. They go, part of the fox nature is to receive this with curiosity and then to remain in stillness. And at that point, to follow what they call the scent to where the source has and resides, and then to determine, was this even a communication meant for me? Or was it just something I happened to overhear because I'm in the same neighborhood? What was the communication meant to incite? Who was it for? And what was the intent? The vibration, what was the intent of the sender? And that is part of the gift of claiming our fox nature. Great Spirit of the Fox goes on to say, there are those of your clan now, daughter, who have discovered that it is quite easy to manipulate members of your species using this instinctual fear response. If one was to startle a hare from behind, the instinctual response of the hare would be to run as quickly as it could in the opposite direction. And so there are those of your clan who have understood this about human nature. And so they're very able to offer the startle response from behind, the fear response, to something that they present. In this way, they herd great numbers of your community into the nets of their will. and into serving what it is they claim to consume in service to their own intent. And this is part of what we are offering to your human family now, is the ability to claim your fox nature, rather than to continue to depend upon only instinctual response, and yet to accept that that's how it's making you feel, and then to remain in stillness. Go, okay, and now let's follow the scent. Not only to whom sent it, but follow it to the intention behind the communication. And that is one of the blessings that we are being offered today by the Great Spirit of the Fox. The Fox further goes on to invite us to know ourselves in a new season of collaboration with all of the other members of our community of life in this plane, because I step forward as well as an emissary of those of the natural world now to seek a new era, a new season of collaboration with us all in service to the well-being of all. And he offers it this way. He goes, we would acknowledge that there are many behaviors and processes, systems, and kind of your own development that humans have engaged in, and through no malintent on your part, have negative consequence in various manners to other members of the community. They go, we're stepping forward with a few suggestions of small adaptations that aren't going to compromise your need state, and yet would have a great overall benefit for the well-being of us all. And so a couple of the examples that he gave was, one of the examples was, he goes, sometimes, using the idea of the sound, he goes, sometimes the sound, even it's actually the vibrations of noise, vibrations that are in the waters, like in the oceans. They go, when you have vibrations that are in the waters, be they from your vessels or from your drilling or from anything else that you're doing that's causing great vibrations, those who live within the waters, they get confused by this. They don't understand it. It may turn them around. It may have them going towards rather than away. It may keep them from hearing or receiving the vibrations of communication that are required for them to connect with other members of their community or for their own well-being. So this is one area that there's no malintent. It's just simply kind of a side effect of something that your human family is doing for their own need state or as they perceive it, and it has a negative consequence. And so bringing that forward into the awareness is an example. Another example would be as your human family, as it expands, you've created great roads to take you from one place to the other, great highways, and oftentimes these bisect natural, or the original communities of nature that happened to live there before we came and, put a big superhighway in between whatever it was. And they go, and so there are some who have and are already are aware of this and are seeking to create areas of adaptation which are hugely, hugely beneficial. And these beings who live in these environments are very grateful. They go, the example we give would be the creation of either underpasses or overpasses over these highways so that, other members of the community, and including humans, are able to cross over these highways or under them without placing themselves in physical harm. And they go, sometimes what happens is these highways may, through no malintent, just be placed so that, the home environment of, where an animal or, other living thing has its, where it resides. And then on the other side of the highway is where it goes to eat. Its availability for whatever happens to be on the other side of the road. These are just a couple of examples where we are offered the opportunity to make small adaptations so that it kind of makes it more comfortable for everyone. Another thing that the energy of the fox stepped forward and they go, you guys are pretty good at putting rest stops along the way on your large migrations, your highways, where you can, rest or refuel yourself or your vehicle or whatever you need to do. And they go, and this is hugely useful. They go, we invite that same concept of having rest stops along migratory pathways to be made available for other forms of life. They go, it's not unknown now. They go, many of your scientists and others who study such things, they're aware of the migratory pathways, things like the butterflies and who migrate, but they need places to stop along the way where they can refuel and rest and whatever, and they go, and these are beneficial, mutually beneficial for all of us, right? And so they go, we would encourage not that you have to go and build up places, but that you leave places that are nature without overbuilding on them, such that there are, and if required, kind of rededicate certain spaces that would support these migratory patterns and support those who are required to take them in that way that has and benefits all. The other part that they offered was, he goes, and then when you're building your cities and your greater thickly settled communities, if you're able to leave some part of nature within your cities, you go, therefore you won't have to drive a day's trip in order to enjoy the natural world, and also those who have and are of nature are able to be a part of the community and also able to have a stop along the way wherever they happen to be going. And so these are a couple of examples. The other one they gave was, they go, there are many who are not designed, who function at night. And they go, and while it's very clear that there's a big use for all the artificial lighting that you guys have placed, all around the planet to help you with your activities at night. We're not saying you shouldn't have them, simply that it would be useful. We feel actually for your own conservation of resource and as well for the health and well-being of those who are not able to function very well with bright artificial lights, as it distracts them or may actually cause great harm, such as all these, the birds who are, come in contact with the big cities, and it just throws them off on their migrations, or they actually fly into them, and that's the end of that. And so the invitation and the gentle suggestion is that we, say we have a shopping mall and a big parking lot that's blazing with lights, and the shopping mall is closed and we're done for the evening and nobody's in the parking lot. They go, it would be useful if you guys could turn it all off, save yourselves some money, and also offer more of a balanced environment for the other members of life and flow. And so one is the invitation of collaboration by the Great Spirit of the Fox, representing those of the natural world, and the other is the beautiful gift of claiming our fox nature and the vibratory attunement. How do you do that? You simply set your intention to receive that which is an attunement with the mantle, the energy field of the Great Spirit of the Fox. So this is the video summary of the gift being offered by the Great Spirit of the Fox. And to all who have received it, I am most grateful for your light. If you are drawn to consume more than this short video summary, access to the full channeling of today's update is available on the Gaia Translate podcast, streaming now on your favorite podcast platform, or listen for free at www.gaiatranslate.com.